Alright, today I'm going to be showing you how to self-host my Discord stock ticker project on Linux. So the first thing you're going to need is obviously a Linux machine. I've got a fresh Ubuntu VM here. If you navigate to the repo, you'll notice on the right there's this releases link. If we go here, you're going to want to find the latest release. So don't grab the pre-release, make sure you grab the latest release. In my case, it's going to be 3.40. So I'm going to go down, grab the release link for my OS. Since I'm on Linux on Intel, I'm going to grab this link. So I'm just going to right click copy link. If I go to my Linux terminal, I can just do a wget on that link and it's going to pull down that tar file. To extract that tar file, I'm just going to do tar zxf on that file that we downloaded. That's going to extract it. If we take a look, there's my Discord stock ticker binary. You can go ahead and execute it. I'm going to do a /help to get our options. So things you can customize. You can customize the string or the address we're going to bind to. We're not going to worry about that. Cache we're not going to worry about. Redis address we're not going to worry about. But log level, actually by default, this doesn't output a lot of logs, and so we're going to specify a log level of 1 for dev builds and get more logs. So we can go ahead and test that by doing / Discord stock ticker. I'm going to say log level 1, and you'll see starting API server on port 8080. That's what we want. So now the manager is running that manages all the bots we're going to create. So to create bots, the first thing we're going to want to do is go back to the repo, and if we scroll down a bit, there's instructions on how to self-host. There are several different types of bots in this repository. I'm just going to talk about the general stock and crypto price tickers. So there's some example API calls here for deleting, creating, and listing tickers. So if you're familiar with using an API, we're just going to use curl here. I'm going to make an example call. So while this is running, I'm going to go to my second terminal here. And you can see by hitting that endpoint, I get an empty JSON object, and that just tells me I have no tickers installed. And so what we're going to do is we have an example API call here that actually creates a ticker. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to open a text document so we can play around with it. So I'm going to paste it here. So it's a basic curl call that makes a post request. You're sending JSON data, and then we have our JSON data here. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to make an Ethereum ticker. So if I go back here, you'll see we have examples for creating a stock ticker and a crypto ticker. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this example payload, and I'm going to put it in my text document here so I can use it for a reference. So the first thing we need to set for a crypto ticker is the name. So I'm going to say name here. The name is always the name of the crypto from CoinGecko. So this can be tricky to find for some things. You can join our Discord server to find out if you're having trouble. But for Ethereum, I know that it's just Ethereum. The second thing we need is the crypto to be true. So that tells the manager that we're dealing with a crypto ticker and not a stock ticker. So I'm going to put that in here. Crypto equals true. The rest of these are customizations that you can add to your ticker. I'm not going to deal with any of these, but you can read what they are if you'd like to set them. The only one that I'm going to want to set are set nickname and frequency. So set nickname is actually what tells the bot to update the price in the nickname instead of the status. So I'm going to do set nickname true, and then I'm also going to set the frequency. So the frequency is just how fast the bot will check for new prices. So I'm going to say I want it to check every 4 seconds. And so now that I've added the two things that I wanted to customize, I have this example call. The last thing I'll need is the Discord bot tokens. This is actually the secret key of my Discord bot. And so I'm going to create a new bot. So if I go back to my browser, I'm going to navigate to the Discord developer portal. It's discord.com/developers/applications. I'm going to go ahead and click new application. I'm just going to give it a generic name, stock crypto bot. I'm going to have to put it in a team. So here's where you can customize the profile picture, but what we need is the secret key for the bot. So if you go over here on the left, you'll see bot. I'm going to add bot, click yes to confirm, And now I can click copy to get the token for my bot. I'm going to go back to my example call. I'm going to replace these X's with my actual token. And now we have an example call of making a crypto ticker. So if I copy this and I go back to my Linux terminal, you'll see over on the left my API server is still running. So I'm going to go over to the right and paste the curl call. You'll see that I get some return data, which is a JSON of the ticker that's been created. If we look up over on the left, we're going to see logs for that ticker being started. It's setting the activity, it's fetching the price. One thing you'll notice is that it's not changing the name. So this bot was just created, so it hasn't been added to any servers. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go back to the Discord developer portal. I'm still on our same bot. I go over to OAuth 2. So this is going to help us generate the invite URL for our bot. So I'm going to select bot for our scope. That's the only scope that's needed. And the permissions here, we're going to need change nickname because the bot needs to change its nickname. And we're also going to do manage roles. You can read a little bit further on what that's needed for, but that enables the color changing. So once I've selected bot, manage roles, and change nickname, I have my invite URL here. I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to paste it in a new tab. I'm going to select the server to add it to, one of my test servers. You're going to want to leave these checked to make sure they get the permissions that they need. I'm going to authorize, pass the CAPTCHA, and now the bot has been added to my server. So if I go back here, you'll see that it still won't update the name. So the bot gets the list of servers to update when you first start it. So what we're going to actually do is delete this ticker and recreate it. So I could obviously just cancel out of this manager running and restart it, but you can also delete bots using the API. So I'm going to actually make a curl call here. I'm going to say curl x delete localhost 8080 ticker, and then the ticker that I want to delete. So I want to delete the Ethereum ticker. Once I do that, you can see over here we have some logs for that ticker being deleted, and now we want to recreate it. So I'm just going to run that same curl command again. Gives me that same output. If I look over at the logs, you'll see that now we've successfully changed the nickname. And so you can see it's used ETH, the price is up, and it's about 3.3K right now, USD. And so that is how we run Discord stock tickers on a Linux machine. Now, you might want to have this service persist even when I close this terminal. And for doing that on Linux, on a system that uses systemd, we can actually install it as a service. So I'm going to cancel out of this to stop it. I'm going to go back to the README, and if you scroll to the top, we actually have a little helpful script here that downloads a version of the ticker, and it installs it as a systemd service on our machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go back. You will need to become root for this to run to install the service, so I'm just going to do sudo su, and then I'm just going to paste that command. So that script ran. You can see the last command here to run is actually starting the service. So I'm going to do that. To see the logs, I'm going to do the same command, but instead of start, I'm going to do status. You can see from the logs there that the API server has been started on port 8080. And so now I should be able to run the command, and that ticker is successfully created. And now that ticker is running in our service that's running in the background on this Linux machine. And so I can even exit out of this, exit out of my shell here, and that ticker will still be running. And that's how it's done.